like to thank the grace of heaven and the mercy of the masters and the benevolence or mercy of the transmitters and I guess predecessor transmitters and grand predecessor, predecessor, right? Grand predecessor transmitters to allow me this opportunity to talk about this class, this Buddha Nature class. It's the fourth, right? The fourth tape, the fourth disc of the Buddha Nature class by Lecture Liu, right? So we are, we just finished chapter 1 of the Sixth Patriarch Sutra or the Platform Sutra, and we are starting the chapter 2 of the Platform Sutra. Okay, but then before that, before we go to chapter 2, he explained what the, does anybody remember, right? The 6758, right? Transformation, consciousness, right? Okay. Hope you guys know, right? Because that's it's very practical, really. I mean, it sounds very abstract, but it's really practical. It talks about, those wisdoms, right? You guys know what the wisdoms are, right? The sixth consciousness is our mind, right? That's normal. That's normal, typical humans. That's what we call normal human, sentient being level. Okay, consciousness. Okay, consciousness means it means thought. It can mean thought. It can mean awareness. It means perception, sensation, all that, feelings, emotions, passions, thoughts. Right? Let's see. Reflection, all that. Okay, that's what a consciousness. And the sixth just means that it's called the mind consciousness, right? It's the consciousness of the five sense. It's the consciousness derived or a result of your five sense portals, right? Interfacing or interacting with the five sense objects, right? So the object of sight, the object of hearing, the object of smell, taste, and touch. Those five senses, right? Your sense organs connecting to you can say to the external world, to the external realm, right? Outside of your body, right? Creates what we call consciousness in this case. In a sensation, you could say sensation, feeling, whatever. Awareness of light or darkness, sound, silence, etc., right? Okay, fragrance, bad odor, whatever, okay, all that. Okay, so that creates, it stirs up, you can say, thoughts or sensations in your mind. You get it? So that's called the sixth consciousness, okay? All right? And then the seventh consciousness is what integrates it. It integrates it. It merges all those sensations and creates what we call desires, or creates, say, I smell something bad, I don't like it. Or I hear something bad, I don't like it. Or I hear something good, I like it. You get, that's the seventh consciousness. It's called the manas, right? Manas consciousness. Okay, it integrates it and it processes it. You get it? So we call it that, the consciousness, the mind consciousness, if you will. That's what it means, mind consciousness. Okay, and then Wait, is that sixth, that's the sixth, sorry. The seventh is the subconsciousness. Seventh is subconsciousness. It's the deeper desires, like you saw something or you heard something or you smell something and you embed it and you remember deep within, so that many years in the future or in the whatever, if you see it again, hear it again, smell again, it brings back memories. Or not just memories, but like you can say feelings of saying, I had a bad experience, or I remember back then, blah blah blah, right? That's the seventh. You get it? Manas. That's the subconscious. Sixth conscious is your mind. Okay, it's your mind. It integrates it. That means it has thinking process. Okay, all right. You like, dislike, whatever. Okay. Then the key is on the sixth consciousness, instead of using that mind, our normal human thought process of saying, I like it, I don't like it, or it's pretty, not ugly, whatever, it sounds good, it sounds bad. What we have to do, we call it, we have to instead use our Buddha nature to turn that sixth consciousness or mind consciousness into what? Yeah, you can say the initial awakening awareness, but of our wisdom. But it's also called the divine observing wisdom, which is what? 妙观察之, yeah. So what's divine observing wisdom? What's that divine observing wisdom? What is that? I mean, it sounds so theoretical. What kind of wisdom was that? What kind of wisdom? It just means to... I'm refreshing, I mean, from previous... when was this? Like 3 weeks ago? Whatever. Okay. It just means that... Actually, it's related to the proper view. Okay? It just means... Okay, yeah, before you go there. Yeah, full mindfulness is right after, it's after that. But the first one is to, what? View things as impermanent. The three Dharma seals, you have to view things with the perspective of the three Dharma seals. Just view that all things, all matter, all forms are what? Impermanent. Right? And all forms or things have no self, anatta, right? So it's anicca, anatta, right? Anatta means have no self-nature, no essence. In other words, they're not only they're not eternal, permanent, but there is no essence to them. In other words, they don't exist independent of anything else, right? Independent of anything else. That's very important. Okay, that's called anatta. It has no self, no essence, no benti. Yeah, no true self. No essence. Yeah, no benti. Okay, that's what it means. All right? And then also, all forms are not just only impermanent and have no true self or no essence, but it's also unsatisfactory or imperfect, or you can say it has suffering. It suffers. Okay, because it's imperfect. It's imperfect. It's not satisfactory. Okay, so that's the divine observing wisdom. You have to see things through through that lens, okay? All right? And then when you have that, okay, then you also have what we call mindfulness. Then you kind of like become mindful. Maybe that's a better way of saying, okay, of what we call the four views, right? I have it in here, right? The 四观, 四念处 or 四念观, the four, right? The four what we call mindfulness. That if you start using divine observing wisdom, you realize that our mind, 观心无常, our mind is impermanent, right? And that all sensations or feelings are suffering or unsatisfactory, imperfect, or suffering. 观受是苦, right? And all things, objects, dharmas, are dependent, empty of self, without self-nature, self-nature. 观法无我. That's the same thing as anatta, okay? So that's what I said. This is just taking a step further, okay? And then the fourth mindfulness is what? 观身不净, right? That our body, our physical form is impure. You get it? Okay? Because it's unsatisfied, imperfect, okay? It's impure, right? You know, when it's hot, you sweat. When it's cold, you shiver, right? That's, okay, so, all right, so that's the next level. So when you get to that level of what we call divine observing, it just means that you can say it's a mindset, it's a way. So do not use your ordinary mind and the six senses to say, oh yeah, it's beautiful, I like it. Yeah. But rather view it, it's impermanent, it's not perfect. You get it? Okay? It has no self-nature. It came about because of conditions. Then it's going to go away, it's going to disappear after a certain amount of time, right? Or when those conditions no longer exist. So we gotta transform. We gotta turn you can say it's a mindset. That's a way of viewing. That's what we call view, divine observing view. Okay, that's that mindset. All right, you get it? So that's really the sixth consciousness transform into that. And then when you transform into divine observing view, it leads to what we call the state of the initial awakening or awareness of your Buddha nature, which will lead to your what I'm trying to get to my that spreadsheet that I did, because I explained it. Didn't I explain? I thought I explained it. the spreadsheet. No, this spreadsheet. Okay, right? This spreadsheet that you guys should have a few months ago, right? Right? So by applying that wisdom, these divine understanding, right? Those the notion, the understanding of the three Dharma seals, the four mindfulness, it will lead you. That's called divine observing wisdom. That's what it means. Okay, that's really that wisdom. Okay, because people say, "What's that wisdom? What's that wisdom?" Okay, Lecture Liu doesn't explain it that much, but and that will lead us to what we call the wisdom of the initial awakening. Okay, that means awakening. That means the Bodhi mind, your Bodhi mind is starting to awake. You get it? That's the Mingxing, Jianxing, the Mingxing. Remember, it's a process. Okay, the Mingxing, the stage. Okay, you can say Mingxing to understand. It literally means to understand, but it just awaken, and then that will lead then to what? The principle of original awakening, 本觉. Okay, 本觉 is your Bodhi mind, it's your Buddha nature. Okay, so it just that's the initial stage. So that just means it opens a door to realize that we have a Buddha nature. You get it? Okay, so that's what it means. All right. Okay, then that's the sixth, right? The seventh is what? The seventh consciousness is the subconscious mind. We have to transform into, rather than retaining, in our subconscious, deep-seated, bias, deep-seated prejudices, or deep-seated feelings, emotions, passions, etc. That's all human, right? That's all very human. Instead of using that, we have to what? Use the equal, what do you call that? The equal universal wisdom. Yeah. Equal universal wisdom, right? What's the equal universal wisdom? Anybody know what they are? Come on, it sounds so abstract. Well, what's an equal universal wisdom? I mean, how can wisdom be equal and universal, right? Well, it's to... Yeah, that's part... Yeah, okay. So basically, it's the... Well, there are two... There are two levels. One is external, one's internal, but that's okay. Okay, I break it down. Yeah, the internal is we all sentient beings have this Buddha nature, and we're all equal. In other words, we all actually have the four, what's that? 无量心, right? The four, what do you call that? Immeasurable minds. That all humans have that. Okay, that's the internal side. The external is the 平常, the four equanimities. We should view things as ordinary, routine. Do not. By doing that, and here's why. Here's why we should view things that way, because that way it's the middle path. You do not have what? Dialectic dualism. Because if you view things as unequal, you get it? Oh, I like that, I don't like that. Then you create duality. And that's no longer the equal universal wisdom. That's using your bias, your deep-seated biases, right? Your prejudices, right? Right? So that's why. You get it? That's why 平常 is very important. That's why Lecture Liu talks about a lot, okay? The four equanimities and then the four immeasurable minds, okay? Which is the internal part. Right? The internal, because we all have that Buddha nature, and what's that Buddha nature? The state of mind. You can say state of mind is that what? We have what? Infinite what? Infinite what? 喜乐 right, 慈悲喜乐 right. 喜舍 right. So what I say, the four immeasurable minds is, what do I have? I have it right here. Right. I say it's. They call it the four equalities or universals too. That's also called that. Okay, 四等. Okay, or the four noble unlimited states. It's infinite loving kindness. That's 慈. Okay, infinite loving kindness. You love. You love as yourself. Love thyself as you would have others love you, or do unto yourself, right? Do unto others as you have others do unto you, right? Same idea, okay? You treat equal. That's equanimity too. And then boundless compassion and mercy, or willing to suffer for others, willing to put yourself in their shoes, etc., etc. Okay, all right. And then that's Bei, right? And then what? Xi is infinite or boundless joy or happiness. Yeah, you should be happy, joy, everything. Okay, in spite of your condition, surrounding. You get it? Okay. You can say positive state of mind. You can call it that. And then the fourth one is what? Infinite or limitless. We call it equanimity or relinquishment. Relinquishment. That means to give up. Some people say in Chinese is 左拔, or abnegation. Well, that's even stronger. Or renunciation. Okay, 忘记. 舍弃跟忘我. Okay, 舍弃忘我. Okay, all that. That's what abnegation and renunciation means. Okay. So I mean, yeah, to the extreme would be self-sacrifice. To the extreme. So like Jesus, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So that's the ultimate. Okay. But that's the internal part. So that's what equal universal wisdom is. To be mindful, or to be mindful, to use that, to apply that mindset. You get it? Instead of using your subconsciousness, which is deep-seated biases, you already have, buried in your mind, okay, right? The subconsciousness, certain biases. You get it? So we cannot apply that. All humans do that. All humans, right? You cannot say no human apply their subconscious biases or prejudices or thoughts, etc., or emotions. We all do. So the key is you cannot do that. You have to transform what we call equal universal wisdom, which is what I just said. The four immeasurable minds from the internal aspect and the four equanimities on the external part. Then you treat everybody the same, you do everything, okay, like that. Get it? Okay, so that's what the 6 and 7. So that's what we call the causes. Those things will cause. So then, and here's an example. Okay, so then we go to the 5th, right? The 5 consciousness, which is the interface. Remember I said that? It becomes, so if we humans, we only use our 6th consciousness and our 7th consciousness, and then so when we see things, when we hear things, when we smell things, when we taste things, we say, I like that, I don't like that, right? 喜欢讨厌, right? That means like and dislike. Acceptance and rejection, right? 取跟舍, right? Acceptance. We all have that. So when we see things, hear things like that, we then behave according to that. You see? Like, dislike, whatever. Okay? By doing that, what happens? We create karma. Make sense? Yeah, you create more. You get it? So at the 5th consciousness, which is the result, right? If our 6th and 7th think like that, to the 5th consciousness level, that's when we interact. That's when we behave, when we act. Okay, in the physical world, we create karma. So the 5th consciousness, if on the 6th and 7th we apply our divine observing wisdom and equal universal wisdom, right? So then, then the result, which is the 5th consciousness, the external realm, what we will end up with called the perfection of conduct's wisdom. We call it perfection of conducts. 成所就之，成所就之. That means perfection of conduct. What does that perfection of conduct wisdom mean? What does that mean? That's another wisdom. What is that wisdom? It just means that all our actions will flow from those first 2 wisdoms. Get it? You view things that, don't last, right? Imperfect, etc. You have what? 4 immeasurable minds and 4 equanimities. So whatever you do, you will end up not creating karma. That's the short end of it. That's the summary. Why? Because you do things, another way of saying this, you flow with the karmic affinities. In other words, when karma or situations, matters, you encounter them, you deal with them, applying those 2 wisdoms with those wisdoms, and when they disappear, when the matter at hand is gone, you don't abide in it, or you don't dwell in it. You don't have attachments to it. You get it? Yeah, you get it? Okay? But you can do that because you have those wisdom. You have the divine will. You realize things have no self-nature. They only exist for a certain amount of time when the conditions are there. When the conditions are gone, they're gone. You get it? So that's why when you treat matters that way, you will not create more karma. Understand? That's called the perfection of conduct's wisdom. See, so it's really practical, okay? So just understand what those wisdoms mean, okay, in practical terms, all right? Okay, and then when you could do that, the fifth, right, the result. So in other words, another way of saying is this. We all, just a couple of weeks ago, we saw earthquake in Italy, right, in central Italy. We see the pictures, so sad, right? We see the Syrian refugees, right? The little boy drowning or whatever. Oh, so sad. Or the little boy, sent to the hospital. He was so shell-shocked. He doesn't know anything, right? So sad. Yeah, I agree. That's ordinary humans because our eyes, our mind, right? We see the little poor thing, so we have these emotions, right? Stir our mind. We don't realize that. See, that's not the... I'm not saying that that's bad, but that's not really the Buddha way, Buddha nature way. Buddha nature way already, without using our senses to see, we already can see the tragedy. You understand? Because what's four immeasurable minds, right? You have what? Infinite mercy, compassion. You already know that. You don't have to see it. You get it? To feel that, right? Understand? So that's very important. Your Buddha nature already has that. So you don't have to see it to feel compassion or to feel pity. Right? You already have. You get it? So you have to expand the mindset beyond your five senses. You understand? Because then people, you heard the phrase, ignorance is bliss, right? Ignorance is bliss. I don't see sadness, so I don't care. I mean, I'm blissful, right? You get it? That's wrong too. You get it? See, that's the other extreme. All right? So we have to be careful. Okay? So that's why. Okay? So now, if we could do that, if we could follow these, transform these type of human level mindsets or thoughts, etc., or views, and transform it into these, what we call wisdoms, divine observing, equal universal, perfection of conducts, then what's left? The last, what called the eighth consciousness or laya consciousness, which is what? What gets stored, it gets registered, okay, in a, I don't know, in some, it's like the cloud or whatever, okay? That really is what propels us or keeps us continuing to have reincarnation. You know that? It's that, it's the...
field of the seeds.
Yeah, it's the
karma.
Right. It's the, in other words, it's like the storehouse. It's called the storehouse. Sometimes people, they call it the storehouse consciousness. That's what the eighth is, okay? Storehouse. That means, remember the fifth consciousness, we humans, we have like and dislike, so we do whatever, right? We grasp, we go after things that we like, we get rid of things, or we dislike things that we don't like, right? Or we want to avoid, and that creates karma, and that gets stored in the eighth consciousness. You get it? And the result of that is what? That will lead to more consequences. You get it? So it's like a vicious cycle. So that's what keeps us, what? Samsara. That's what Buddha says. That's what keeps us continue to have what? Death, birth, death, rebirth, death, etc., etc. That cycle. So the key is not to retain anything in the storehouse. You get it? Any of those likes and dislikes, okay, or whatever. So we have to, if we could do those three wisdoms that I talk about, right? Then what's left is that storehouse consciousness will become empty. You get it? Will become empty. It will become like what we call a mirror. So that's called the great mirror wisdom. Meaning that what? Remember I just said, whenever we encounter things, it's like a speck of dust or a shadow, like a passing shadow. We deal with it when we encounter it, and then when it's done, we let it go. So then the shadow passes away. So what retains is still a mirror, empty mirror. Does a mirror retain an image? Only when you stand in front of it, you see the image. When the image moves away, there's no image. Make sense? So the storehouse wisdom, the storehouse consciousness, or the eighth, is empty. So there's nothing to cause us to what? Reincarnate. Get it? Make sense? So that's what we call transforming the eighth consciousness or the storehouse consciousness into the great mirror wisdom. And then if we could do that well, over time, we get rid of the whatever specks of dust or shadows in that mirror, get rid of it. Over time, it will lead to what? What I call great awareness, 大觉, and then 正觉, okay, or 净觉. That means absolute awareness. That means you become a Buddha, okay? Over time, okay? All right, 大觉 is like, you can say Bodhisattva level, but anyway, it doesn't matter, okay? So that's what it means, okay? All right, that's what it means. 大觉, great awareness, okay? Great awareness, wisdom, okay? So that's what the transformation of those four consciousness means, all right? Okay, now let's go into, that's very practical. We just have to practice it. So the key is, part of that is the beginning, how to, to keep reminding ourselves of the divine observing wisdom and the equal universal wisdom. You have to understand what our Buddha nature is. You have to have a little understanding, because then that way you can use it rather than apply our consciousness all the time, our minds or our subconscious or all the time. You get it? So that's why we have to learn a little bit about Buddha nature. That's the whole thing. All right? Okay. So next we'll proceed to the actual course, the lecture, which is page 11. Okay. Chapter 2, right? 般类品, right? That's chapter 2. It's prajna. In other words, on prajna. It's about prajna. Okay, that's the... Where is it? Where are we? Divine... No, I already talked about that. I basically... No, I talked about that. You have to go... Yeah, that's it. Chapter 2. Yeah. No, that's... What page is that? 9? Yeah, 9. Yeah, okay. Okay, so 般类, right? 般类. In Chinese, it's pronounced as 般类. 般若. Okay, 般若. Okay. And then remember I just talked about divine observing wisdom? Okay, so anyway. So 般类, okay, or in English, it's translated as wisdom, which is basically a metaphor, maybe that's a better term, a metaphor of our really Buddha nature, okay? We say wisdom. Remember wisdom? I say there's principle and then there's wisdom, right? That's the oneness. That's what our Buddha nature is, right? Yeah. So the wisdom is actually, you can say, another way of saying, generalizing, you say it's the function. It's the application of our Buddha nature, you can say that. Or of the principle, okay? Of the principle, or, the essence, the oneness, okay? All right? It's the application, the use. That's what the wisdom is. Just like the divine observing wisdom, equal universal wisdom, right? All those are uses. Those are use. That's how we apply it, right? What do we deal with in the real world, okay? So that's what, in general, 般类, you can mean that, okay? That's one level. The other level, it just implies our Buddha nature, okay? It implies our Buddha nature, okay? But that, okay, I don't want to jump the gun. But then, okay, so now, when I say wisdom, it's not the human level wisdom. It's not the book wisdom or learned wisdom. You get it? That's why we call it divine wisdom, which just means it comes from your Buddha nature. Get it? Okay? It's not, I heard from this class, the wisdom. It's not that type of wisdom. You get it? It's not wisdom based on knowledge. Very important. It's wisdom from our Buddha nature. Okay? All right? Okay? So, that's why, remember I mentioned that universal equal wisdom, which is the four immeasurable minds? That's the internal side, right? That's internal. That's not from any book or external. You get it? It comes from your Buddha nature. Okay? All right. So that's what Bore. Okay. Sometimes we use that term Bore to refer directly to the essence of a Buddha nature. That's the sometimes I say, okay? See, there are two sides. There's the Li, and then there's the 功能, right? Li means principle. Li Ti, the Banti or Banti, the essence. Okay, all right. So We just have to be careful what level we're talking about. But at the higher level, at the broader level, maybe that we call that divine wisdom is like our Buddha nature. Okay, it's that essence. Okay. But at the subset, part of it, I would call that divine wisdom, or that wisdom is our application of our Buddha nature. Get it? Okay, so that's basically what he's saying. All right. Now, there's in Chinese they call it mo he, right? Mo he bo lo mi, right? Mo he is a translated. It's a transliteration of the Sanskrit term maha. Maha literally means great. That just means grand, great, supreme, all that. Okay, all right. Now, in some cases, maha also refers to our divine wisdom. You know that, right? Okay, so all right. So that's what he was trying to say. So that's why he says, maha bolo, maha bolo mi, right? Bolo mi do, right? So all right. So the maha, it just means our essence, our true essence. Okay, that essence, great, grand. Okay, it's our essence, 本体, and then the bole is the wisdom. You get it? So it's the essence and the wisdom, right? Or you can say essence and function. Get it? The true nature and the application. Okay, so that's what maha bolo mi means. Okay, that's what it means. All right. So that's what he's saying. Okay, now that's at the what we call at the, you can say the theory level, the theory explanation. Now the practical explanation, it also means, right? Because it's paramita. That's what it means. Maha prajna paramita. That's what the full term means. Okay, so paramita means what? To go to the other shore. Literally, that means to go to the other shore. That means what? To go from sentient beings. We're in the ocean, right? We're floating in the sea of bitterness, right? Kuhai, right? So we have to go reach the shore, meaning reach nirvana, right? Or reach enlightenment. Okay, that's what at the basic interpretation that term means. Okay, maha prajna paramita. Okay, that's what that means. All right. Okay, but actually, the higher level, the implicit, the more implied meaning is that it means that we have to search or realize, maybe that's a better, be awakened and realize, 明心见性, that's another way of saying, is to be awakened and to realize our Buddha nature. You get it? Okay? Or the essence, the essence of Buddha nature. Same thing, okay? Which can, she's used surpass, you can say transcend, or encompass, embody, okay? All universe, the whole empty space. All right? Okay, that's what maha prajna paramita, okay, means. All right? So one is at the very basic level, meaning that we have to, what? Reach the shore, meaning that we have to become enlightened. We have to, in other words, transcend samsara. Another simple way of saying, because we are floating about in the ocean, right, in the breeze. We're going up and down, so we're continuously, entering samsara. We're being born and we die. Then we gotta reborn and die again. Repeat the cycle. So the maha prajna paramita means if we could realize be awakened to our Buddha nature and realize our true nature, our Buddha nature, we can reach the shore. You get it? That means we can transcend samsara. That means reach the shore. Okay? All right? So that's what that phrase means. Okay? So that phrase, encompasses a lot. Basically, that's the you can say the essence of Buddha's teaching. That's it. That's the essence of Buddha's teaching. That's it. Become enlightened. Reach the shore. That's it. You realize your Buddha nature. You no longer have to reincarnate. You get it? Or enter samsara, right? Endless samsara. Okay? So then now, let's see. Next page. Now, he said the next phrase. What's that next phrase? 善知识, right? He used the term, right? Yeah, you there? 善知识. I basically summarize. Let's see, does everyone abide in forms? Yeah, keep going. No, that's seventh conscious. Okay. He's talking about, yeah, he's just explaining. I explain most of it. So we can keep going. Yeah, he's talking about present. Yeah, but when I say everybody has the same Buddha nature, that's the equal universal wisdom. Okay, that's it. Right, divine observing wisdom. See, he's talking about more in deep. Which is what I explained basically. All right. Okay. So after the sixth and seventh, right, divine, the equal, then we can command. Yeah. We have to. That's why we have to learn about what a Buddha nature is, so we can kind of like initially we have to be like, how can I say, we have to force it. You can say force our conscious mind. You can say suppress. You can say almost like suppress. Eventually, initially we have to do that. We have to say, oh, don't follow our conscious thoughts. Don't follow. You get it, all right? We have to kind of like suppress it, right? Suppress it, And he talked about how we have to negotiate with our conscious mind. Say initially we can't get rid of everything, all our desires. It's impossible. Obviously, you go crazy, right? So he says you negotiate. We say do half first, half. So sometimes there are things that we shouldn't do, we shouldn't think, we shouldn't see, we shouldn't say. Then remind ourselves, use our true master, which is our Buddha nature, to kind of like command or override our sixth and seventh consciousness, right? To say, hey, that's wrong, we shouldn't do that, right? We shouldn't do that. So kind of like, it takes some discipline. It takes some time. That's why he says initially, because we are so used to having our mind, control everything, right? All right? That's not our true master, right? We're basically shutting out the Buddha nature part, right? That's why he says we have to learn about what our Buddha nature is too, okay? Because the more you learn, the more it's easier, you can say quote unquote easier, to let our Buddha nature take control. You get it? Take control from our sixth and seventh consciousness, right? Our consciousness and our subconsciousness, if you want to call it that. Okay? So that's what he was explaining, all right? It's throughout the course of the lectures. This is just initially, okay? So we have to kind of like be mindful, like you say, remember the three Dharma seals, right? All things are not permanent, all things are imperfect, all things have no self-nature, etc., right? Okay, all that thing, all right? That we all have the same Buddha nature, right? We are all equals, right? We all have what? Infinite loving kindness, right? Boundless mercy, compassion, etc., all that, okay? So we have to be mindful, right? So you kind of say, maybe you have to have some discipline, okay? It's kind of like, it's almost like forcing it. But gradually, over time, it becomes more and more natural. You get it? That means your Buddha nature is coming out more. So that it's taking control, in other words. That's the way to do it, okay? All right? So it takes practice. That's why he says the general thing is to what? Don't let a single thought arise, right? The idea, if you could be, it's like in one way it's like suppressing. You're trying to suppress your thought, but that's a thought too, right? You have a thought to suppress other thoughts, right? But initially you can try that, okay? Initially try that, but the key is you have to get it into like become a habit, become what? Unconscious, become natural, right? Become second nature, or become that, and then that's when your Buddha nature will manifest itself, will reveal itself, will kind of take control, another way of saying, okay, or take over, and your sixth and seventh consciousness then will gradually subside. Understand? That's really the practical side. Okay. All right, he's talking. Didn't I talk about this? Right, purity. It's just, whatever. Okay, I talked about that prajna, right? The prajna. It's the maha prajna paramita. I think that's the full term. Okay. So, So 善知识. Here it is. Right. This is page 12. Yeah. Okay. 13. Okay. See, she used the wrong phrase. You know that, right? 善知. Yeah. That 知 is not that 知. You know that? Right? The 识, sorry, the 识. The 识 should be knowledge. Should be 言旁的识. Yeah, 言旁的识. 不是那个识. 识, that means scholar. That means a scholar. Yeah, that's wrong. No, that's the wrong word. Yeah. Yeah, 善知识 should be no. That 善知识, 善知识. Okay, so understand what does the 善知识 mean? Okay, what's 善? 善 is actually means you can say it's the perfect, or the supreme goodness. It's at the highest level from the Buddha nature. Now, from the what called the superficial, right? 善知识, right? And you'll find it translated, okay, in all the English, okay. They'll say learned audience, or well, what's another phrase? Learned audience and good something good. Yeah, good worthy. Yeah, good worthy. Yeah, good worthy. Good worthies, right? See, that's the superficial meaning, right? Right. Good worthy. 善 means good. Good. 知识 literally means people who are learned or who are knowledgeable. That's the surface definition. So you'll see that, you'll read that in the translations, okay? But realize that's not really. I mean, that's not really the true meaning. The higher meaning, or the Buddha nature view, okay? The San refers to what? Our Buddha nature, the supreme good. You get it? It's just not mean just good person, just not a good person, because then that's dualistic. You get it? Good and bad, good and evil. Really, that San infers or implies our Buddha nature, which is transcends the duality. You get it? It refers to our Buddha nature. Okay, that's San. Understand? Mm-hmm. That's really from the Buddha nature interpretation or level. That's the higher level. Okay, okay. And then what's the 知识? Okay, now yes, 知识 does on the superficial level just means knowledge. I mean, well, that's one translation. Okay, that's one translation. It basically means our conscious mind. That's another way of saying. Okay, that's another way of saying. You get it? 善知识. But now he used the term 善知识 together. What does that mean? You see, it just means our Buddha knowledge. You can say our Buddha level. You get it? Our Buddha level conscious mind. Get it? Not the human consciousness. Okay? Understand? So that's what the 善知识 means. Okay? It means it's the conscious mind of that arises from our Buddha nature. From our Buddha nature. It's in other words, it has no biases. You get it? That conscious mind, that Buddha level conscious mind has no biases. Understand? As opposed to the human level conscious mind, which has biases, right? Which has 喜色喜欢讨厌, right? Like, dislike, all that duality, all that dualistic nature. Get it? But the Buddha, remember I said the four immeasurable minds, right? That's what the 善知识 would imply. I mean, the four immeasurable minds would be part of that. You get it? Would be part of that 善知识. Understand? The four immeasurable minds, didn't I just talk about that? That's part of the 善知识. Understand? Get it? That's what I mean, okay? And the equanimity too, right? That's the internal. The external part is everything's equal, right? Right? Everything is equal, okay? So when you'll find that phrase 善知识 repeated constantly in the Platform Sutra by the six patriarchs. So now think about it. For a person, for the sixth patriarch, for him to use that phrase 善知识 to everybody implies that what? He's already speaking from the Buddha level. You get it? You get it? Understand? He's not talking about, oh, you are learned, you are scholars, you are learned scholars. No, he's not talking, he's not saying, oh, you are good people. You get it? Understand? See, he's trying to tell his disciples or address to everybody that you are like that. You are 善知识. Because you already have the Buddha nature. You just don't realize it. You just haven't manifested. You haven't revealed it. Because so far what you're revealing is your human nature mind. Your human nature level consciousness. Right? So what Sixth Patriarch is trying, when he's addressing his disciples or his audience, using the term 善知识, he's already telling them that you are all equivalent of Buddhas. You just haven't realized it yet. Understand? Different perspective, right? You get it? Okay, so that's what really 善知识 means. Okay? So next time when we read the phrase learned audience or good worthies, it's not very. It's at a superficial meaning. You get it? Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I haven't finished. Damn it. All right. Okay. So I pretty much refer. Let's see. I kind of write all that paragraph. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know why he used the phrase. Okay, 大善知识, right? Okay, yeah. All right. It just means that 大善知识 means there's someone to guide us. Okay, that's in other words, a Buddha. That's a great, supreme, the highest level of Buddha consciousness. It's a Buddha. I mean, it's a Buddha. Okay, that's the thing. But here's the important thing. He just say that. There are, we have masters or teachers, you can say, or patriarchs, right, or whatever, to guide us, right? 6 patriarchs is one of them. We have holy teacher. We have our 18th patriarch, matriarch, right? These are examples. They are, you can say, living examples of 大善知识. Okay, that means they are guides because they are Buddhas. You can say essentially they're Buddhas. Okay, so they just want to guide us, right, to reach that level. Okay, but he's talking about he jumped to he's talking about all of us. We have to have a belief, a firm belief that we all have the Buddha nature. Okay, we should not view ourselves as say, oh wow, our master, our holy teacher is holy teacher, that, and I'm a lowly disciple. I can don't take that view because then that means you have no faith in yourself. What Lecture Lu is trying to say is you want to have established a faith, a foundation, basically to say that you can become like holy teacher. You can become a Buddha. In other words, because we all have that essence. We all have that Buddha nature. It's just that we are applying our human consciousness, human mind. So we are restricting our Buddha nature. You get it? Within our own body. You understand? Okay. So Lecture Lu is trying to encourage us to have faith. Okay, 信, right? 信, faith. And the faith is very important. It's a foundation. You can say it's a pillar. It's a foundation. Okay, to build that. You can say build that that tower or whatever that pillar, right, to become a Buddha. Okay, so in the Confucian view, okay, a perspective of the 5 constants, right, the faith is the foundation of the other 4. You know that? Well, and so in Chinese he says 信住事断兼万善, right? 结万善, right? 系统, 对, 系统事端兼万善, right? 兼万善, okay? 系统, that means it connects. You can say connects. It intersects. Yeah, we say 四段. 四段 means the 4. It literally means the 4 corners, or not corners, the 4 poles. The 4 poles. You get it? The 4 poles. The 4 poles. Why? Because what are the 4 poles? Right? It's 仁, 义, 礼, 跟智. Right? The benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom. Right? So it connects it. In other words, it connects. Right? Or the intersection. It connects. The intersection of those 4 poles is faith, which is the foundation. So without faith, those 4 are useless. You get it? Make sense? So that's what. This is very theoretical. It's too abstract. It's like But anyway, I forget it. All right, I'll stop here. We'll talk about it. We'll finish up. And we're almost done. I want to get to the questions because the questions and answers. There are a couple of questions that are pretty good that it's worth exploring in detail.